Hi guys, Jugal here. So this video is about how you can go about the 3-year law CET exam if you're giving it this May. I gave the CET last year and secured 115 marks. So that was the 18th rank across the state, and presently I'm studying in GLC. So I'm sure most of you must be thinking, what's the kind of question, what's the how tough is the paper, and from where you should study and so on. So first up is what kind of questions do they ask? So there are two ways you can find that out. Number one is you see the mock questions that have been given by the CET cell. You can find that on GLC's website in their information brochure. Now they released a similar brochure last year as well, and we all went by that because there was really no precedent. But what came in the paper was almost entirely different. So yeah, the second way is you ask a senior how the paper was because they have not released the actual paper. So that's why I can help you out mainly is because I know how the paper was. So I've also spoken to someone who gave the afternoon session. So there are two sessions, right? One is a morning session exam, and the other is the afternoon session. So I've asked a friend Gina, how the afternoon session was. So and based on that, I will be telling you what kind of questions you can expect in the exam. So there are four sections: English, logic, legal aptitude, and GK. So I'll first start off with English and legal aptitude, the easy parts actually. So English was entirely based on comprehension. So they'll give you a big passage, the 50 questions on that, right? So they'll give you a big passage and 5, 6 questions on each passage, and really very easy. Honestly, if you've been educated if you've always been in English medium, I don't think it should be a challenge at all. So what to do in English? I would say nothing. Absolutely, there's no need really. If you're confident no, I mean, if you're able to converse in English normally, I don't think there should be any issues. So yeah, so that's far as English is concerned. You should aim to secure 50 on 50 in English, ideally, honestly. Second is legal aptitude. So most of the questions, in fact, all the questions, from what I remember, is they were, of the pattern of principle and facts. Now this is, in fact, few questions given in the mock, in the information brochure, right? The mock questions, few questions are like that, and all the questions, in fact, that were asked in my attempt, from what I recollect, were like this. So they'll give you a principle. Let's take an example. A contract with a minor is void ab initio, and then they'll give you facts. Let's say X, a minor, entered into a contract with B. Now X does not execute the contract. What are the options available with B? And so the answer to that, I mean, they'll give you A, B, C, D options. The answer to that will be B cannot do anything as the contract is null and void from the very beginning. So here you just required to know, what is void ab initio. So my point is, most of the questions were very easy, especially if you've done CA, then it should not be an issue at all. Contract was a major part of major chunk of questions. You have crime, criminal procedure, and you have tort also, which they can ask. So I would suggest that you could just go through basic material that is there in the market. I think you buy any Aarti publications or any of those books which are there for CET, and you just read through the material that they've given. I think you will be able to scrape through it. There's no point in taking stress for legal aptitude. Just, I think, a day's study or 2 days reading and just knowing the basic principles and concepts should sail you through and actually get you a 30 on 30 in that section. Coming to the next one, which is logic. So this is one section which I actually found to be tough. English and law was quite easy. Logic was pretty tough according to me. What the kind of question that they asked, again, mock in the mock information brochure, they've given you standalone questions, like all 30 questions are unrelated. In the actual exam, it was not like that at all. It was one big passage that they had given, and based on that, they had 6, 7 questions. So what kind of question was that? So let's say there's a dining table and 10 people are seated on it. The one sitting to left of X is the third from right of Y, and they'll give you one big case, and then you're supposed to find out, okay, who's sitting to the left of this guy, who's sitting to the right of this guy. So if you're able to crack that whole case, you can answer all the questions, almost all the questions there. Another question was, there's a building, and the first floor is yellow, two floors above that is blue, and three floors below that is three floors above that is something, and then you find out which floor is which color and so on. So it was one big case, and you had to crack that whole thing, and then you could probably solve all the questions related to that. So for that, I was totally unprepared, right? I thought the kind of question that would come in that were in the mock information brochure, they would be like that, and they were fairly easy, honestly. But the exam was actually totally different. So what I would suggest is, in fact, CAT has these kind of questions. So what you could do is any material, any online videos which help you solve these kind of questions, right? A big case and then questions related to that. You could do something like that, right? That is one way of. So I would definitely suggest invest time in logic in making sure that you can solve slightly tough level of questions. And yeah, the questions weren't easy that were asked. So do spend some time in logic. Fourth, last but not the least, general knowledge. Now here, the peculiar thing was the syllabus is just too wide. I mean, you have history, geography, civics, economics, and current affairs of the last 1 year. Now it's just too wide. I mean, it's impossible to cover everything in a month and a half or so. So most of the questions that were asked in my attempt in the first CET were based on current affairs, and that too only of the last 3 months. Like the exam was in June, so the current affairs from April, May, and June were asked in the exam. So I would say start reading the newspaper from day one, from whenever you're starting your preparation. How you can focus more on current affairs, right? Instead of focusing on the static GK, which is history, geography, economics, so on. Focus on current affairs, and for that you can go through any of the websites such as GK Today, Jagran Josh, or Insights on India. They basically give GK for civil services exam. Same thing you can use for the CET as well, or any CLAT material that is there. But I would suggest focus more on current affairs rather than static GK, because how much ever you do static GK, I mean, it's less. So, and especially considering there's just a month and a half left, right? So that's as far as current GK is concerned, mainly based on current affairs. Start reading newspaper. Um so here are the four sections. Time was not an issue. Again, there's no negative marking, so that makes things much easier. You can still mark something and come. Cutoff for GLC was about 100 marks, I think, last year, but I don't think you should make that a reference point and tell yourself that okay, I'm not able to get so much. I mean, you never know. This is just the second year, so what the cutoff would be is anybody's guess. Just try and as I said, English law, no need to take tension. A law, you could just read through the things, know the basic concept, because the questions are going to be pretty easy. In fact, most of the questions, the answer was in the question itself, according to me. That's what I felt. And probably I'm a CA, so it might have been a little easier for me, some of the acts, but still, I don't think it was that difficult. And logic was tough, so pay attention to logic. GK, yes, GK again was you have to actually work towards that. Read your current affairs at least for the last 3 to 6 months. I've mentioned some websites, go through them. And if you can do static GK, great. If you can't do it, still at least be as good as you can in current affairs, right? So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best for CET exam. I hope you come in the top 50, top 100, and you get the college of your choice. Thank you so much.